Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to hold talks at Hyderabad House in New Delhi today. Both leaders are likely to discuss areas of cooperation and ways to strengthen existing bilateral relations between the two countries. The Sri Lankan President will later call on President Ramnath Kovind. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to participate in the closing ceremony of 47th All India Police Science Congress in Lucknow today. Discussion on various contemporary issues like reforms in policing. Taxation Law Amendment Bill to be moved for consideration and passage in Lok Sabha today. Parliament passes the Chit Fund Amendment Bill 2019. Lok Sabha clears the bill giving ownership rights to residents of unauthorized colonies in Delhi. US President Donald Trump makes a surprise Thanksgiving visit to US troops in Afghanistan. Says the US and Taliban are engaged in talks to agree to a ceasefire in America's longest war. Also meets Afghan President Ashraf Ghani. Nearly 40 people killed in Iraq amid ongoing anti-government protests. Incidents mark one of the bloodiest days since the uprising began at the start of October. Protesters demand more jobs, an end to corruption and better public services. And in sports, India started its campaign at the 13 South Asian Games on a winning streak. Indian men's and women's volleyball teams with their opening matches in their last group match. Indian women's team will take on Bangladesh while men will clash with Nepal today. Good morning. You're watching DD News and I'm Preeti presenting the bulletin. Our top story first. Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa today held talks with External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in the national capital. Later in the day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Sri Lankan President will hold talks at Hyderabad House in New Delhi. Both leaders are likely to discuss areas of cooperation and ways to strengthen existing bilateral relationship between the two countries. The Sri Lankan President will later call on President Ramnath Kovind. Sri Lankan President Rajapaksa arrived in the national capital last evening on a 3-day state visit. The visiting dignitary will be accorded a ceremonial reception on the forecourts of Rashtrapati Bhavan this morning. This is Gotabaya Rajapaksa's first overseas visit after assuming office. Before his departure from Colombo, Gotabaya tweeted that during the visit, he is looking forward to strengthening bilateral relations with Narendra Modi and Government of India. The visit is also the manifestation of India's neighbourhood first policy, and External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar was the first foreign dignitary to meet new Sri Lankan President last week. Union Home Minister Amit Shah will participate in the closing ceremony of the 47th All India Police Science Congress in Lucknow today. The 2-day event was inaugurated by Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, Kiran Bedi. Uttar Pradesh Police, in association with the Home Ministry and Bureau of Police Research and Development, is organizing the event at police headquarters in Lucknow. During the event, 6 thematic sessions, which include some very contemporary issues like reforms in policing, role of social media in countering radicalization and terrorism, and inculcating right kind of attitude in police officers, are lined up. In Lok Sabha, Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will move the bill to amend the Income Tax Act 1961 and to amend the Finance No. 2 Act 2019 for consideration and passage. Meanwhile, Parliament saw yet another productive day yesterday with both houses transacting legislative business. The bill to grant ownership rights to residents of Delhi's unauthorized colonies was passed by Lok Sabha. The bill will benefit people who are deprived of property rights due to unauthorized colonies. In Rajya Sabha, the Chit Funds Amendment Bill 2019 was passed by voice vote. The bill, which seeks to raise the monetary limits for chit funds, got Lok Sabha's nod on 20th November. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan moved a bill to ban electronic cigarettes. The bill has already been passed by Lok Sabha. While replying to a question in Rajya Sabha, Women and Child Development Minister Smriti Irani said that 377 online websites have already been alerted and child pornography content has been taken down from these websites. IT and Telecom Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad, in reply to a question in Rajya Sabha, said that the government is committed to protect the digital privacy of citizens. Defence Ministry has approved the procurement of 6 P-81 anti-submarine warfare jets, indigenous development of airborne warning and control systems, aircrafts and other military equipment at a cost of 22,800 crore rupees. The decisions were taken at a meeting of the Defence Acquisition Council chaired by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. The Defence Ministry said in a statement that these aircrafts would greatly strengthen the Navy's capabilities for maritime coastal surveillance, anti-submarine warfare and anti-surface vessel strike. Elections in Jharkhand are going to take place in 5 phases starting tomorrow. With the Jharkhand polls coming on the heels of assembly elections in Maharashtra and Haryana, the results are being keenly followed. Campaigning concluded yesterday for the first phase of polling. About 2 crore 26 lakh voters of the state will elect 81 MLAs of the state. In the first phase, of polling on 13 seats, nearly 37,33,000 voters will decide the fate of a total of 189 candidates. Meanwhile, with an aim to increase the voter turnout, the Election Commission has organized awareness campaign among the voters of Jharkhand through the medium of folk dance and music. The artists perform songs and dances in a bid to encourage people to exercise their franchise and also take part in the formation of the government.
मैं अपने लोकगीत के माध्यम से गा के ये कह रहा हूं कि हे वोटर, तुम अपना हक और अधिकार चाहते हो और अपना हक अधिकार के बारे में तुम जानना चाहते हो तो पहले तुम वोटिंग करो। आप वोट देकर आप सरकार को अवगत कराना चाहते हैं कि हमारे क्षेत्र में इतने वोटर हैं, हम लोग इतने वोट दे रहे हैं, तो निश्चित रूप से आपका ये सुविधा मिलेगी।
And up next, we'll listen in to DC of Palamu, who is telling about the provisions being made by the Election Commission for Divyangs.
लोकोमोटर डिसेबल्ड के लिए हम लोग वहाँ व्हील चेयर्स उपलब्ध कराएंगे। उनके पर्टिकुलर गंतव्य से मतदान केंद्रों तक लाने के लिए उनके फेरिंग के लिए अलग से हम लोगों ने गाड़ियाँ मार्क की हैं। उन गाड़ियों के अलग से साइनेज भी लगाया जाएगा ताकि सुगम मतदान हो सके। तथा साथ ही साथ जो हमारे विजुअली चैलेंज पर्सनस हैं उनके लिए हम लोग डमी बैलेट शीट भी दे रहे हैं ब्रेल लिपि में। उनको ब्रेल लिपि में फ़ोटो वोटर स्लिप दी जाएगी, उनको ब्रेल का एपिक कार्ड भी दिया जाएगा। और जो हमारे स्पीच एंड हियरिंग इम्पेयर्ड हैं उनके लिए हम लोगों ने साइन लैंग्वेज जानने के लिए स्काउट्स एंड गाइड्स के भी लोगों को आइडेंटिफाई किया, उनकी ट्रेनिंग कराई गई है और ऐसे 450 से ज़्यादा बूथों पर वो लोग डिप्लॉय भी किए जाएंगे।
The burnt body of a young woman was found near Chatanpally in Hyderabad yesterday morning, a day after she went missing. The body was identified as that of veterinary doctor Priyanka Reddy. Police is now investigating if Priyanka was raped and then murdered on Wednesday night. Police teams also searched the surroundings of Tondupalli toll gate and the place where Priyanka parked her scooter, recovered her clothes from there about 25 kilometers from where her charred body was found. The assailants were suspected to have fled the city via the Kurnool highway based on the clues collected after examination of the surveillance cameras in the surroundings. The police suspect that she was dragged to a secluded spot near the toll plaza where trucks are usually parked and that she could have been raped there. Her clothes and liquor bottles were recovered from the spot behind a few trucks. Also on Wednesday, Priyanka Reddy had called her family to tell them that her bike had been punctured. During the phone call, the doctor told her family that some of the locals had offered to help her. In Himachal Pradesh, cold wave intensified following snowfall in higher reaches and rain in plain areas. Several areas in middle and higher hills of Himachal Pradesh are wrapped in snow blanket. with fresh snowfall witnessed yesterday. Active blizzards and continuing fresh snowfall has also covered the highway with thick layer of snow. Shimla Superintendent of Police Omapati Jamwal said that Chini Bangla Road has been closed after snowfall in Kufri, Narkanda and Kharapathar in Shimla district overnight. BRO along with district administration have been pressed into service to ensure smooth functioning. Cold wave conditions have intensified after the fresh snowfall, leading to tourists thronging the place in large numbers to experience the snowfall. Light rains in parts of national capital on Thursday further improved the city's air quality. The overall air quality index in Delhi stood at 97 this morning, which falls under the satisfactory category. While at Lodi Road, it dipped further to 56. At Anand Vihar area in Delhi, the air quality index stood at 83. Most of the 37 air quality monitoring stations in Delhi recorded the index in the satisfactory category. Also, the share of stubble plume in Delhi's pollution was negligible, as Punjab and Haryana received light rains for 3 days. Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan was launched to bring down mother and child mortality rate in the country. This scheme is showing positive results in Guna district of Madhya Pradesh. Let's take a look at this ground report coming in from there.
It's a major relief for pregnant women and infants across villages of Raghogarh block in Guna district of Madhya Pradesh. Once upon a time, accessible and affordable medical facilities was a dream for these women. Instead of paying attention to their health, they used to be all tensed and keep running from one hospital to another. But today, Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan has come for their rescue. Under this scheme, women of these rural areas can not only get good medical advice, but also vaccinations for various diseases.
सरकारी योजना मिल रही है हमारे लिए जो मिलनी जा रही है और हमारे सब टीका सब आंगनबाड़ी से सभी सुविधा अच्छी मिल रही है।
4 जांच हो चुकी है, सरकार की तरफ से 3000 रुपये भी मिल चुके हैं, खून पेट की जांच भी हो गई।
मेरी यहाँ पे तीसरी जांच है, मैं तीसरी बार आई हूँ और हमें आंगनबाड़ी की तरफ से टीके भी लगते हैं, जो कि मुझे 2 टीके लग चुके हैं और गोलियां दी जाती हैं, दवाइयाँ दी जाती हैं, बिल्कुल निःशुल्क की जाती है। मेरी सेकंड बार हो रही है और सेकंड बार बाकायदा निःशुल्क जांच होती है और बहुत अच्छे से होती है।
The aim of Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan is to bring down mortality rate of both mother and child. The smile on faces of these women are clearly visible. Bureau Report, DD News.
In international updates, US President Donald Trump made a surprise visit to Afghanistan at an air base near Kabul to thank American troops serving in the war zone on the occasion of Thanksgiving. President Trump had a bilateral meeting with Ashraf Ghani, the Afghanistan president. Trump stayed on ground for about 2.5 hours, during which he said that the US and Taliban have been engaged in talks. The visit for Thanksgiving comes after a prisoner swap with Taliban aimed at resuming peace negotiations. Trump also said that US was substantially reducing troop numbers. Some 13,000 US troops remain in Afghanistan 18 years after the US intervention to oust Taliban following the 11 September 2001 attacks. And nearly 40 people have been killed in Iraq amid ongoing anti-government protests. At least 25 people died when security forces opened fire to clear bridges in the southern city of Nasiriyah. Another 4 protesters died in Baghdad and 10 more in the city of Najaf, where Iran's consulate was also burnt. Iraqis have been taking to the streets to demand more jobs, an end to corruption and also better public services. The incidents marked one of the bloodiest days since the uprising began at the start of October, with anti-corruption demonstrations that have since swelled into a revolt against authorities scorned by young demonstrators as stooges of Tehran. And Pakistan's top court yesterday gave the government 6 months to justify why it granted controversial extension to country's army chief in a rare case that pits the judiciary against the government and the military. The cabinet of Prime Minister Imran Khan approved a 3-year extension for General Qamar Javed Bajwa in August, but in a surprise ruling on November 26, the Supreme Court suspended the extension, citing a series of irregularities and ordering the government and the army to produce legal provisions and detailed arguments on the reasoning behind the move. The court meanwhile granted a temporary 6-month extension to Bajwa's tenure due to end at midnight, but said that the government must pass legislation through parliament in that time to clarify the section of Pakistan's constitution governing the armed forces. And the North Atlantic Treaty Organization is celebrating 70 years today. NATO was brought into existence in 1949 and was first created as a means of defense against Soviet Union. The 26-nation Regional Defense Alliance aims to enhance the stability, well-being and freedom of its members by means of a system of collective security enshrined in Article 9 of the North Atlantic Treaty. Though the alliance now has 26 members, it was initially signed by just 12. Major NATO members include countries such as United States, United Kingdom, Germany, France and Belgium. The headquarters is in the Belgian capital of Brussels. Since the end of the Cold War, NATO has helped to end conflicts in Bosnia, Kosovo, and also head off a civil war in the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. The modern aim of the treaty is to tackle new security threats looming in the regions beyond its doorstep, such as terrorism and new forms of warfare. Nations have dedicated themselves to finding special forces for defense against chemical, biological and nuclear attacks. Let's get to updates from the world of sports. Now, India started its campaign at the 13th South Asian Games on a winning streak. Indian men's and women's volleyball teams won their opening matches yesterday. In a Group A match, Indian men's team easily defeated Bangladesh in a straight set by 25-18, 25-14 and 25-15 in Kathmandu. In women's Group A match, India beat hosts Nepal in straight sets. The Nepalese girls, with huge home supporters, gave tough fight in the first set. However, India won the first set by 26-24. Soon the Indian girls bounced back and won next two sets by 25-12 and 25-16. Now in their last group matches, Indian women's team will take on Bangladesh, while men will clash with Nepal today. Though formal opening ceremony of the 13th South Asian Games will be held on Sunday, but some sports have already started. Over 2,700 athletes will compete for 1,119 medals, including 319 golds in 26 game categories. 499 athletes from India are participating in the biggest sporting event of South Asia. The closing ceremony will be held on 10th December. And Deepika Kumari won the gold medal in the women's recurve event at the Asian Archery Championships in Bangkok on Thursday, beating compatriot Ankita Bhakat 6-0 in the All-Indian final. 3 Olympic quotas for Tokyo 2020 were on offer at this event, which went to India, Bhutan and Vietnam. This is India's second Olympic quota place in archery after the men's recurve team of Tarundeep Rai, Atanu Das and Praveen Jadhav had secured their place through their showing in the World Championships earlier this year. And we all know how crucial is the need to have a fit body and soul. Fit India campaign and its success and impact we'll get to know in this report.
The impact of Fit India campaign is visible in all walks of life. Its effect is more visible in women and girls as they are moving out of their homes to stay fit and are participating in all kinds of sports activities. One such event took place at Connaught Place, where women and girls participated in a marathon to enhance their fitness level.
घरों में ना बैठें, फिटनेस बहुत ज़रूरी है लाइफ के लिए. हमारी जीवन का एक उद्देश्य है, अगर सेहत तंदुरुस्त है तो हिंदुस्तान की नारी सब पे भारी.
Fitness, both physical and mental, is very important for overall well-being. Fit people are healthy and more active. It improves quality of life and increases longevity. All you need to do is make a few lifestyle changes.
ये एक दौर है जो कि झांसी की रानी लक्ष्मीबाई के ऊपर रखा गया है, जो कि ये दौर बहुत सदियों से चला हुआ आ रहा है और आजकल की युवाओं भी जो महिलाएं हैं वो भी इस दौर को नियंत्रण रखते हैं.
Women looking after others is a way of life, whether it's tending to children, caregiving to aging parents, or maintaining a household. Women tend to have a lot on their plates. Often busy schedules result in a lack of self-care which can compromise women's health. But now this perception is changing rapidly and women are getting fitness free compared to men. Ashok Martolia's report, DD News, Delhi.
All right, that's it in this edition of the News Sisa. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.